Welcome to our explainer on services marketing. Now, if you're planning a career in business, especially here in North Carolina, you have got to understand something crucial. The vast majority of our economy isn't about making things, it's about doing things. As future leaders coming out of the Walker College of Business, getting a grip on these principles isn't just about passing a class, it is absolutely fundamental to your future success.
So let's start with a strategic question that hits close to home. Think about our own regional economy. What could a financial titan like Bank of America, a global gaming innovator like Epic Games, and a beloved local brand like Highland Brewing Company possibly have in common?
Well, the answer is that their success is fundamentally built on delivering outstanding services, not just physical goods. From financial services and digital entertainment to the entire hospitality experience, they win by mastering the really unique challenges of delivering a service.
All right, let's dive in. Here's our game plan for this explainer, and it lines up perfectly with your course learning objectives. We're going to start with the big picture, the service economy. Then we'll break down what makes services so different, figure out how to adapt the marketing mix, get a handle on service quality, and finally, see how it all works in the nonprofit world.
First things first, let's set the stage. We're talking about the incredible scale and importance of the service sector. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is the real-world economic environment where you're going to be building your careers and leading organizations. In developed economies like the U.S., services account for a staggering 70% of our gross domestic product. Just let that number sink in for a minute. The overwhelming majority of our entire economic engine is powered not by making stuff, but by delivering services.
So what is a service, really? At its core, it's an intangible act, a performance, and the growth here has been absolutely explosive, driven by major economic and social changes. As our world gets more complex, the demand for specialized services, from global health intelligence firms like IQVIA and LabCorp right here in North Carolina to countless local tech startups, it just keeps going up and up.
Okay, so if services are that dominant, we absolutely have to understand what makes them tick. So let's decode the core characteristics that make marketing a service a totally different ballgame than marketing a physical product.
This framework right here, this visualizes the 6 interconnected characteristics that are the bedrock of all services marketing: intangibility, inseparability, perishability, heterogeneity, client-based relationships, and customer contact. Let's break down each one. First up is intangibility. You can't touch, see, or hold a service like an investment strategy or a software consultation from SaaS Institute. This is the central strategic challenge. It forces marketers to build a really powerful brand and use tangible cues to signal quality and reduce a customer's sense of risk. And this whole idea really exists on a spectrum. On one end, you've got something purely tangible, like sugar. On the complete other end, you have a purely intangible service, like your education here. But most things we buy, like a meal at a restaurant, they're actually a mix of both goods and services. Next up is inseparability. So unlike a product that's made in a factory and sold weeks later, services are created and consumed at the exact same time. Just think about getting a haircut or having a doctor's appointment. The customer is right there, and often they're actually part of the production process. Then you've got perishability. An empty airline seat on a flight out of Charlotte Douglas or an unsold hotel room up in Nashville, that service capacity is lost forever. You can't put that unsold service on a shelf and sell it tomorrow. This creates huge strategic pressure on managers to balance supply and demand, usually through pricing and promotion. Heterogeneity, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it just refers to the potential for inconsistent quality. Why? Because people deliver most services, so one experience can be amazing, and the next one, maybe not so much. This is a huge challenge that firms like Truist Financial or Novant Health work hard to overcome with intense employee training and standardized processes. Building client-based relationships is absolutely fundamental. Think about a wealth advisor at First Citizens Bank. Their goal isn't just one transaction. It's building a long-term relationship based on trust and satisfaction, which guarantees repeat business and, just as importantly, powerful word of mouth. And finally, we have customer contact. This can vary a lot. High-contact services, like healthcare at Duke University Health System, involve a ton of face-to-face interaction. But low-contact services, like getting your car fixed at Advance Auto Parts, require much less direct interaction with you while the service is actually being done. So here's the bottom line, the so what of all this. These 6 characteristics completely change the game. They force us, as marketers, to totally rethink the traditional 4 Ps: product, place, promotion,
and price. You just can't market a service the same way you market a tangible good. It won't work.
Think of this table as your strategic cheat sheet. It's great because it directly connects each service characteristic we just talked about to the specific marketing challenges it creates. For instance, intangibility makes it really tough for customers to evaluate your offering, which, of course, directly impacts your promotional strategy.
So for product and distribution, or place, we have to adapt. For the product, we often bundle a core service with supplementary ones. And we have to use tangible cues, like a professional-looking staff or a super clean facility, to signal quality. For distribution, the channels are usually short and direct, and we have to actively manage demand with tools like appointments and reservations.
With promotion and price, the strategy shifts again. Our promotions have to make the intangible feel tangible, using strong images and symbols. And word of mouth becomes an absolutely critical promotional channel. When it comes to pricing, we can use flexible models like off-peak pricing to manage that perishability problem. And we have to remember, customers often use price as their #1 clue about service quality.
Now that we know how to tweak our marketing mix, let's zoom in on the product itself, service quality. This is where great companies build a real, sustainable competitive advantage. Because look, it's one thing to market a service, it's a whole other thing to deliver it exceptionally well every single time. For anyone here who's aiming for a management role at a company like Lowe's or SAS, this model is a seriously powerful tool. It shows you exactly how the actions you take as a manager in 4 key areas translate directly into how your customers perceive the quality of your service. And these 5 dimensions. This is how your customers are going to judge you. Tangibles. What do your facilities look like? Reliability. Did you do what you promised you'd do? Responsiveness. How willing are you to help and quickly? Assurance. Do your employees inspire trust? And finally, empathy. Do you provide caring, individual attention?
Now, it's really important to remember that these principles of service marketing aren't just for for-profit companies. Let's adapt our playbook for the nonprofit sector, which is a major employer and a vital part of the economy here in the Appalachian region.
The core difference, really, it all comes down to the objective and who benefits. The goal isn't profit, it's achieving a social mission. And the beneficiaries aren't shareholders, they're the clients and the public at large. So an organization like the Raleigh-based Rise Against Hunger is marketing to achieve its mission, not to generate a profit. Success in this sector means you have to understand some unique concepts. Instead of just a target market, you have target publics. That includes both your direct clients and the general public you need support from. And when we think about price, we have to consider the opportunity cost for donors and volunteers. What's the value of the time or money they could have used somewhere else? So this leaves us with a final strategic question to think about. How would the marketing mix for a major nonprofit like the Golden Leaf Foundation have to be different from that of a corporate giant like Lowe's? How do you apply these same principles differently when your bottom line is community impact instead of shareholder return? That right there, that's the challenge and the opportunity for a strategic marketer.